Hi, my name is Megan Marsh, and I'm a coach at Front Range CrossFit, and today we're going to be talking about flow. To give you a little bit of background, I am a sports psychology consultant, and my background is in competitive figure skating, so that's pretty much brought me to the field of competitive athletics and psychology. And today we're going to be talking about how we can apply some of these concepts to CrossFit, in particular this idea of flow. Often I hear people say that sports psychology or sports psychologists help athletes once there's a problem. So once they start having pre-performance anxiety or once they start having the yips. And then the coach refers them to a psychologist. Well, how I was trained is psychology for performers is much like physical training. So instead of waiting till there's a problem, why don't we train our mind so that once we come down to competition, we don't have these breakdowns or freakouts. Being in flow is what a lot of people talk about, being in the groove, being in the zone, performance feeling effortless. So now we're going to talk about some fundamentals to achieving flow. A few of them are having a challenge skills balance, having this action awareness merging, and we're going to go into some others in detail right now. This state of concentration or complete absorption in any activity. So you can have a state of flow while doing finance stuff, but it really has to do with that absorption, engagement, fulfillment, and skill. So you'll see there it talks about time, food, ego. None of that matters. There's almost this pause in time and space where you're just in that bubble. Don't want to practice for flow. Yes, we want to achieve it, but if you are in the gym just got to get into flow, it's probably not going to happen. So what are some other fundamentals for achieving flow? You want to be concentrating on the task at hand, so really focused on what you are doing and trying to achieve flow in. You want to have a loss of self-consciousness. So we don't want to care about what the audience thinks or even what our friends or fans or coach thinks. We're really engulfed and focused on that task at hand. Also, there tends to be a transformation of time when we achieve flow, meaning we don't know how long we're out on the floor or on the platform. We just kind of lose time, and that's okay. So you're not focused about how much time you have left on the clock necessarily. You're just in that moment, totally engulfed in what you're doing. This idea of having a balance between the challenge you're imposing on your athlete and the skills that they already possess. And it's not just where they're at physically based on your assessment as a coach, it's totally their perception. So if an athlete's coming in here and they feel like a workout just kicked their ass, they hate their life, it doesn't matter if as the coach you think, yes, they're getting better, that was a little bit better. If they're walking out of here feeling so discouraged, then we're not on the right path of having that balance between challenge and skill. So up here is what we want to reach, that flow. And if your skill level's too low, if your challenge is too low, you're going to be in that boredom, maybe anxious if the challenge is too high and they're not skilled enough. So that's our job as coaches, to be assessing where our athletes are. Knowing your athletes, I mean, you can tell someone to get on the bar and that can totally come across differently depending on who it is. You know, you tell me to get stubborn towards the end of a workout and that gives me some fire in my ass, like to do it. Whereas somebody else that could just, no. So how you deliver it, knowing your athletes and both fitness level and personality, I think. CrossFit is great for this. I was thinking about examples of stuff we practice and do, movements that we get constant feedback from, like a wall ball or like hitting a lift. So by doing it or having your athlete do these reps, kind of like the EMOM, you get through 20 and that you did it. There's no right or wrong. It's I got fully down in my squat, I hit my lift, it's unambiguous. So that's kind of nice. You want that. Metallic experience, when you read the definition for that, it's do it because you are intrinsically motivated to, not because you have to. Or in other words, you enjoy situations, it literally said this, that most people would find miserable. I was like, CrossFit? I'd encourage you guys to play with it yourself. Like I said, don't get too caught up in it, but consistency, some of these concepts, play with it, and if it's affecting you in a positive way, pass it along, share it. All right, you guys, so that's pretty much it for today. I just want to thank you for coming and taking the time to talk about these things with me. So this was our talk on flow, and I want to let you guys know that there are going to be other lectures in this series on sports psychology concepts and how they can relate to CrossFit. So stay tuned, and thanks again.